Welcome to the Marketing Muse, the show that explores the world of marketing, creativity, and the people behind it. In today's episode, we're joined by a very special guest, Kai. Not only is she an expert in inside sales for a manufacturing company, but she's also a talented UGC creator, specializing in lifestyle and skincare content. She's built a strong personal brand as an influencer and has collaborated with a variety of brands to create engaging content for her followers. In our conversation today, we'll be discussing her journey as an influencer, the challenges
Hi,
she's
Kai.
faced
Thank you for
along the
doing
way,
this
and the
interview with
strategies
me. How
she's
are
used
you
to
today?
succeed in this
I'm great.
competitive
Thank you so much for
industry.
having me.
So without further ado,
Awesome.
let's jump
So,
into
are you
the
ready
interview.
to start?
Absolutely. I will answer as much as I can.
Okay. So, first off, can you tell us about your background and how you got started with UGC creation for lifestyle and skincare?
So my background is actually inside sales specialist for a company in Cambridge. I got started in UGC because I have loved social media since I was a kid, and then there was just a big sudden movement in the UGC world and the community within during pandemic as well. So I was doing much of my research and I was having a career crisis. So I wanted to try where I excel the most, and I thought to myself, why not start where I love the most, which is Instagram and social media.
Awesome. I love that. So, how do you balance your full-time job as an inside sales specialist with your UGC creation work?
So, with my full time work, such as my 9 to 5, I am lucky that I got into a work in a field that's very flexible. So, I'm in a hybrid setting. However, I can come to work whenever convenient for me. And so, I could start my time as well. Within that, I really got lucky when I could film for such brands. And so with time management, I can incorporate my 9 to 5 as well as my freelance for UGC creating.
I love that because I remember you were telling me before that you wanted to quit UGC when you had an offer for like your full-time job. So that's really perfect.
Yeah, so I guess like a part of why I said I wanted to quit my UGC creating that time was because I wanted to focus in my 9 to 5. However, I thought to myself, this is such a good part-time. So I do UGC for about like 3 to 4 hours to create good contents for brands. And that's kind of like, if I give you a rough money about how much it is, it's like working a 25-hour part-time job somewhere else, but I do it in my own time here for UGC creating, which I really appreciate the most because of time management.
I love that. So, how do you go about building your personal brand as an influencer, and what are some strategies that have worked well for you?
For personal brand, really, it's just what you're comfortable in advocating. For me, I was exploring through makeup and skincare, and so that actually became my niche for contacting brands. I wouldn't be contacting any brands that I wouldn't be comfortable advocating and using in my own body or skin, especially for makeup because I have a very sensitive skin.
Yeah, perfect. You actually answered my fourth question. So let's jump into the fifth question. So, what are some of your challenges you face as an influencer, and how do you deal with them?
Honestly, for the UGC creating side and slash influencer, just because it's getting more broad and diverse within that community, the legal side of the paperwork and the work is actually coming into place, unlike before, that they do it as a freelance without any contracts. So since I started UGC, I actually had to provide my own UGC contracts to the brands with which had to be proofread by an actual lawyer. So I guess that was one of my challenges because I had to like learn as I go, as well as with communicating with different brands and being patient.
Yeah, because I remember you had to build your own portfolio from scratch. Even if you had like past works and stuff like that, you didn't know how to actually create a portfolio that is compelling to brands and that would attract brands to work with you.
In regards to the portfolio side, just because of like how like I was starting with UGC, so I didn't know exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
So I guess like one of the tips and what I did to actually start was I really joined so much communities in Twitter, Facebook groups, did my research. I was connecting with other UGC creators who was starting. And so it was an open community which really helped me. And so they were sharing their works to one another. Just because I was taking photos as well and doing videos, it was easier for me to compile my portfolio.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of updating it.
So how has the pandemic impacted your work as an influencer? I know you started right after, but during the pandemic you were building your social media, you were very active and everything. So how was that around that time?
So during the pandemic, I really had so much time in my own hands. And so as long as I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what I wanted to excel in.
Did you start to reach out to brands at that time?
Oh, yes, that's like the main thing. Reaching out to brands, sending them cold emails, sending them like, "Hi, my name is Kai." Like you introduce yourself to them and what you can bring to the brand, and just basically pitching to them. And then honestly, like 1 out of 10 of who you send will get back to you. So you just keep sending and sending, and you just keep trying until you get brands to work with you.
In terms of like for our audience who are interested in doing UGC in the future, can you share any tips or advice to them?
As someone who has done UGC before, and I've been doing it for a couple months now, I think what I would tell myself and to the future UGC creators who are interested in doing so is just do your own research, and nothing is stagnant in the UGC creator world. It's a changing. It's almost like a career that has almost a lot of changes, so you have to keep updated with the changes and the trends.
Yeah.
Stay connected with other UGC creators, and I would suggest to create your own email address, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok account, mainly for UGC, just so your social media is very much in line to what you want to do, and it shows you what other things you could do in UGC.
In terms of the trends, what do you think will have the biggest impact in the years to come? And how do you see the future of influencing marketing as they evolve? Because now it's very saturated. It's like everyone can do it. There's like a lot of tutorials and everything that revolves around UGC and influencer marketing. So how do you go about that?
So right now in TikTok, as far as I know, with the current trend, the trending parts right now are videos that are just 5 seconds or 10 seconds. I think where the UGC and the social media will go about in the next couple years would be the users who are watching from TikTok or other social medias will get bored from that 5 second scrolling from TikTok, and I think they are looking forward to doing a longer version just for
Yeah,
the
because right now they
users.
have 10-minute videos. already.
Exactly. They're introducing a longer time frame
Yeah,
so that they can engage more and be able to show
more.
more in a very unique way.
Yeah. In terms of the content or collaborations that you put out and collaborations that you accept, how do you measure your success and what metrics do you typically look at?
So since I'm like a part-time UGC creator, measuring my success is through the brands that I work with, the brands that
'Cause you're
works well
very-
with me.
You're very picky with what you
Yes.
Accept.
Just because picky in a way that I want the what I make for the brand will be resonates with myself, and
Yeah.
as well, like they're paying what's worth what I'm doing.
yeah.
Like I just don't want them to send a video that's crammed or a picture that's just been taken. Like I want to take my time, and that's how the picky side of like the UGC creating comes from within me.
Awesome. So for our last question, what are your long-term goals for your career as an influencer and how do you plan to achieve them? I mean, I don't know if you see yourself in this career in the long term, but I don't know. How do you see yourself in that?
For UGC, I was just really trying it out just because I know I love taking pictures. I love being in social media. I was trying it out in a way that I was like, okay, maybe I can do this in the future. However, trying and knowing what you really excel in really helps you as a person. And so I've come to realize that UGC and the social media isn't really a full-time thing for me. It's fun for part-time for myself, but to make it as a career, just like other big influencers, isn't for me just because I like my day that has steps A, B, C. I like it that way. So influencing is kind of like a change of one day from another. And so I don't really have that schedule, which I am a person of scheduling. So in terms of long term, maybe just part-time. But I'd still like to focus on my 9 to 5. And I get that other people don't appreciate that, but I'm one of the odd people that loves the 9 to 5 in the corporate world, partly influencing.
No, that's actually nice because I think that's a very fresh perspective because I feel like new influencers and UGC creators really want to excel and push themselves and try to like
Go big.
yeah, and shift their image just to be like popular and trending. And so this kind of perspective is really fresh.
Yes, and it was just at the same time a help for me to know who I am, what I excel in, what career am I really good at, what career I would want for me in the future. And so I was ready to conquer and try both sides of the world, the creative and the corporate side of.
I love that. Okay, well, that's the end of our podcast for today. Thank you for being here with me.
Absolutely. I was so happy you asked me all these questions, and thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
And that wraps up another episode of The Marketing Muse. We hope you enjoyed hearing from our special guest Kai and gained valuable insights into the world of UGC creation, sales, and marketing. If you want to learn more about Kai and her work, be sure to check her out on Instagram at Kayaka French and on Twitter and TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to The Marketing Muse so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes where we bring you more expert insights and discussions on marketing, creativity, and beyond. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next time on The Marketing Muse.